Texas Governor Greg Abbott has laid out a few ideas when it comes to school safety, but would any of the ideas actually stop a school shooter? Hey everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. According to the Dallas Morning News, Texas Governor Greg Abbott unveiling safety proposals after the Santa Fe massacre that happened in Santa Fe, Texas, a couple of weeks ago. It's a 40-page list of recommendations to improve school safety in the wake of the Santa Fe school shooting earlier in the month that left 10 dead. And he did not rule out calling a special session, but also said there's likely not time to implement anything before the upcoming school year. So a special session would really only need to take place if everybody agreed on maybe one or two new pieces of legislation that needed to go into effect. And Abbott added that many of these ideas are just that, ideas that schools need to talk about themselves and see which ones they want to implement. The governor saying, according to the Dallas Morning News, quote, "This plan is a starting point, not an ending place. It provides strategies that can be used before the next school year begins to keep our students safe when they return to school. This plan will make our schools safer and our communities safer. The recommendations, however, are merely that. Most of the proposals listed, like hardening school entrances or giving local law enforcement areas or access to the school facilities with greater regularity, were items that were left up to the discretion of independent school district." Quote, "Leaders in schools want to keep students safe. It doesn't take a mandate from the state of Texas." Other items, such as expansion of on-campus counseling and local ISDs, were listed by Abbott as top priorities for the upcoming Texas legislature's next session, which actually won't meet until 2019. The governor stressed that items passed during a special session would not likely go into effect for the upcoming school year, so he did not entirely embrace that idea. So here are a few of the ideas as far as gun control measures that the Dallas Morning News listed, that Governor Abbott listed as something that the legislature may want to bring up in 2019, requiring mandatory reporting for lost or stolen guns, allowing information from mental health adjudications and various protective orders be available to federal firearms reporting database within 48 hours, not the current 30-day process, expanding the current firearms storage law by 1 year and requiring parents to secure firearms for those under the age of 18. Now, if you go back to this 17-year-old shooter in Santa Fe, Texas, his parents will not face, or his dad will not face, any likely criminal charges. Now, it is likely that he will be sued, but he will not face any criminal charges because under Texas law, those who are 17 and under, or 17 and older, excuse me, the parents are not held responsible. The governor would like to see that law increase, by the way, to where those who are 17 years old, they gain access to a parent's firearm, use that firearm in a crime. The parents could be held criminally responsible. That is something that should be taken up, I think, in the next legislative session, and it probably will be debated, and I could see that actually pass in the upcoming legislature. The governor encouraged Texas Senate and the House leaders to issue an interim charge to consider the merits of adopting a, quote, red flag law, allowing law enforcement, a family member, school employee, or district attorney to file a petition seeking the removal of firearms from a potentially dangerous person only after a legal due process is provided. So that is something that is key in this. The governor also touted his pro-Second Amendment views, that he is not somebody who wants to take guns away. I think just about everybody understands that about the governor. The governor also asked the legislature to provide $20 million to expand a telemedicine wellness program that Texas Tech has actually developed. The program, currently being used in 10 Lubbock area districts, is designed to identify middle and high school students who are at risk for committing school violence and offering psychiatric services to those students via telemedicine. According to the plan, 25 students in these districts have been removed from school over the past 4 years. Nearly $110 billion in funding was identified through federal funding, gubernatorial grants, and relocation of money from various state agencies. Of that, $70 million is already or will soon be available. Abbott plans to ask for an additional $30 million in the 2019 legislative session. So the question is, would any of this really prevent anything from happening at a school? Well, the question is, we don't really know. A lot of this is safety measures, school safety measures, which is great. There's not a silver bullet, though. Maybe that's a bad pun, but there's not a 100% foolproof plan to stop a school shooting. You can arm teachers, but that doesn't guarantee that a school shooting won't happen. You can, harden these access points. You can put more school counselors in all these areas. You can expand the Texas Tech program if you wish, but there's absolutely no guarantee that some nut job won't come in and start shooting. In my opinion, the governor is off to a fine start here. I think on some of his points, I think there are others need to be debated within the legislature. But I think what we need to do is have a serious discussion about getting rid of gun-free zones, not only in schools, but across the state of Texas, including at sports venues and including at bars. If you are somebody who is not going to drink, you're somebody who's maybe a designated driver, why should you not be allowed to carry your firearm into a sports bar? To me, it makes absolutely no sense. The fewer gun-free zones, the better, in my opinion. And that is something that the legislature needs to talk about. We need to allow teachers to carry firearms if they want to carry firearms. They should be allowed to. If you're a parent, you have a license to carry, you should be able to carry inside that school for whatever reason. Even if you're just picking up your kid, you should be able to carry. To me, that is something that makes sense. We need to get rid of gun-free zones because these maniacs, these thugs, these sick people who are carrying out these attacks are looking for gun-free zones. We need to make sure that we don't have those available to these people who want to carry out attacks. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.